welcome to another edition of Sports Inc. Along with Mark Gregory, I'm Scott Taylor. We had two games of the week this past week, Downers South and Downers North, and Joliet Central, Joliet West, a couple of crosstown rivalries. Both expected winners kind of prevailed. Mark, talk a little bit about Central and West. West went on to win, but Central stayed in the game pretty much throughout.
Yeah, I mean, like any crosstown battle, records are out the window. I don't care if it's a 5-0 or 0-5. In my case, it was 2-0-14 at the time. Joliet Central battled in there, and some people didn't expect it. I definitely did. I mean, they're a gritty blue collar team. I expected nothing less from them guys. Their athletes really came out early, and they held that Joliet West offense down. West is a high powered explosive offense. I mean, they put points on the board against Playfield South, against Sandburg. They put points on the board. In Joliet West, I mean, you had a block punt for one touchdown. You had Cameron Hargrove, who didn't play the whole first half after being benched against Bolingbrook, came in the second half and really controlled the drive and showed his athleticism. And then Raymar Jordan had his first carry, broke a big run. So really, one drive Joliet West really put on him. But the key really was that Joliet West linebacking core. Central just couldn't get anything going. The defense kept fighting out there, but they couldn't get anything going. They tried a few different things, put Keithy Carpenter in the Wildcat and doing a few things with that, and had a couple big plays out. Just couldn't really get anything going against that linebacking core.
It was Joliet Central, the first drive of the game, got down the field, missed on fourth down. Just missed. That could have changed the momentum of the game a little bit too, the outcome. You never know what can happen early in the game when you get a first score on the board. It could have been a totally different game.
And West did, unfortunately, like they had been doing, they scored, I want to say, 4 touchdowns on one possession. They scored, had a penalty, run back 10 yards. Scored again, penalty, so they hit a couple plays that scored them, kept backing them up, and that really gave, on the opposite way, gave Central, that momentum to stay in the game for a while, and, going to half 7-0, and it was 14-0 most of the game until the last score. So you saw which once again became the Josh Williams show again this week, huh?
Yeah, I was there for the first half. I missed the Josh Williams show. He just looked like a pedestrian running back to me when I saw him in there, but he tore it up after that. But I liked, when you had seen them play, they were in I formation or pretty tight formation and running up the middle. You said, well, they're in the spread formation this past weekend, which really throws a wrench into defense's plans, because now when you have a spread option attack, if you don't know the read option, is when the quarterback puts it in pushing your gut, and sometimes the quarterback would keep it or hand it off. They did that the first play, and everybody in the world was going after Josh Williams, obviously, and Simon Shelley went around the other end untouched in the end zone. So that play could be big for them in the future. They ran outside pretty much the whole time. Josh Williams is a very fast running back. I did notice, even though he's small, he's quick.
Oh, he's fast.
And he's still pretty powerful despite his size. But, it was 10-0 at halftime. Downers North held the ball for at least 8-9 minutes out of this, between the first and second quarter. Couldn't score. That was a killer. They could have scored, it was 7-0 at the time. They could have scored a touchdown, tied it up at 7. We're looking at a whole different game. But as it is, it was a crosstown rivalry. And I told you on our picks last week that it was going to be a close game, because North were not going to go back down, and they didn't. It was good to see.
I think you said that they held the ball, and that's probably the best way to defend Josh Williams is keep your offense on the field so that Josh can't get on the field and score, because he's such a weapon that hey, if you keep them on the thing, that's a way to not have him light up the scoreboard. That usually works.
I'm still concerned. We're getting closer to the playoffs now. We haven't gotten that yet, so we'll talk about this more in the future. And I mentioned it before, but no, the competition not there for Downers South.
No.
And when a Downers North team that's they're okay, they're not bad, but can hold the ball for 8 minutes, that does not say something good about the Downers South defense, which they might have pitched shutouts before this year and whatever, but they only give up 14 fourth quarter points. But when you allow a team to do that, a good team will take advantage of that opportunity and score a touchdown. So we'll talk about it more coming up, but we'll see what Downers South does in the playoffs and see how they can do against the top competition.
It ain't not quite top 7, but there'll be some tough teams out there. So, and obviously football wasn't the only thing. Went to saw a couple of soccer matches this week. How was yours?
Plainfield North, Plainfield East. We're talking about a rivalry game. Plainfield East was a man down, or Plainfield North, I'm sorry, was a man down up 3-1 in the last 25 minutes and held on. for a 3-2 win. We have one of the best players in our coverage area on Plainfield North, Colin Donnelly, 13 goals already this season, and a very selfless kid. He wants to score goals for the team to win the games. He said he wants to score as many as he can, but not for himself, for the team, which is good to see. Our teams have struggled this year. The big question I have for you is, we got Downers North 3-11 this year, yet they beat Plainfield Central 10-5 by 2 goals. So, are we really parity? Think we're all bunched in here? Bolingbrook, you saw Bolingbrook, they looked good, but they've looked bad recently as well. So, I mean, are we just, we have like 10 teams outside of Bennett, who's 8-3? There's a bunch of teams that are pretty equal.
I don't know. I mean, you talk about equal. I think when you look at the Downers play, I think that's how it's going to come out. I mean, I think when you look at the Downers Groves and the Bennetts and the Napervilles, I think soccer-wise, they're just head and shoulders above everybody else. And I think the competition that they play out there, they may have less wins, but when you get into, you're talking about competition with football, same thing. When you get into football with the Downers against with the Plainfield schools that not knocking the soccer out here in this area, but the 10 wins Plainfield has against the competition is a lot different than the 11 losses that Downers has against their competition. So I think you see which one's a better team, records out the window. But you talk about the Bolingbrook. I saw them. I mean, they started off on fire this year. At their own tournament, they some good big wins, and now they've been win a game, lose a game, win a match, lose a match, and it's just. They got some high-powered players. Priest Bosu, a good score, 12 goals this year already for them. They can score. They had a nice platoon system going in goal, which is no longer a platoon system because Frank and Luna, their goalie, who was the kicker on the football team as well, dove into a pole at Stag. The football goal pole wasn't padded. He dove in and 15 staples in his head and fractured a collarbone. So he's out probably for the year. So that changed everything. They've always said it wasn't a platoon system. Now they got their goalie for the rest of the year. Hopefully they can kind of mesh this. They start conference play October 1st, and hopefully they can get going in the right direction.
Speaking of that, I think the common thing we've seen from our soccer results has been higher scoring games. Seems like defensively they're struggling a little bit. Plainfield North played a lot of high scoring games this year. Bolingbrook obviously, they have a lot of goal scorers, but they've given up some goals. So we'll see when it comes to the playoff time whose defense is going to reign supreme. And if we can get a regional championship, Downers North made it to the sectional semis last year. I think Bennett might be our best team. That's who we have ranked number 1. Niles West we have ranked number 2. They even lost, I think, 3 or 4 in a row. So it's getting close to that time. It's getting down to the stretch. We'll see who's going to reign supreme. And also who's going to win that SPC, as everybody now in the SPC has lost after Plainfield South lost last week. So it's going to be a crazy last couple weeks of the season.
Oh yeah, and crazy weeks in soccer. We're getting into the playoffs here now. Golf getting ready to get going. So next couple of weeks we'll be talking some golf, some cross country, some tennis. A lot of playoffs. A lot of these quick spring sports who kind of come in and hurry up and end the season. In golf, that means a speedy season. So we'll be having some good shows. So keep on watching and wait for us to talk about all the other great sports in the area.
Don't think we didn't forget about volleyball. We got that match circle JCA and Bennett coming up in a couple weeks.
That's gonna be the big one.
We'll definitely be talking about that one coming up here soon.
So that's that.